Hello and welcome to Cryptic Corner, where we look into the strange, unusual, and bizarre sightings from around the world of different cryptids, ghosts, uh, aliens, time travelers, lost civilizations, ancient mysteries. In Cryptic Corner, we've covered a lot of topics. We've also covered a lot of experiments because little known to the general public. In certain parts of the world, doing bizarre, obscure experiments on YouTube videos is quite a lucrative industry. In the past, we discussed folks making their homunculi, or homoculuses, basically making little creatures out of their own seed and a chicken egg, and doing these experiments, and they open the egg up and there's little critters squirming around in there, right? We've seen that. We've explored that. Bizarre. Most of it was in Russia. Now, Russia is the part of the country that, or part of the world that exemplifies this phenomena the most. Most of these strange experiment videos are coming to us from Russia, and some of the technology that they claim, some of the super science that was discovered under the secret control of the Soviet communist government are pretty out there. There's some weird claims. This next thing we're going to talk about, though, is a little bit unique to Cryptic Corner, because we haven't really covered something like this before. But when I discovered that this was a thing, well, let's just have a look. All right, so we are looking at a Russian inventor named Viktor Grabinnikov. I practiced this name so much, and now as soon as I try to say it, it fails my tongue. Grabinnikov. Viktor Grabinnikov. There we go. You have to say it with that. You have the Kov part, you have to say it's like Kov. It's not Kov, it's Kov. And people always say that wrong when they say Russian names, which is really annoying to me, but Kov. Grabinnikov. Anyway, yeah, so the reason this is so exciting for me is because this sucker is insect adjacent. What would a group of homunculus be called? That's a good question. Good question, D. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pose that to the... I'm going to propose some options for that in a Q&A. What should a group of, how do you spell that, homunculi be called? There you go. And now, go ahead and engage with that. See what you think. Why am I buffering? Surely I'm still live, right? Yeah, the stuff's still turning. Okay. I don't know what that was about. Anyway, okay, so Viktor Grabinnikov was an entomologist. So it's important to understand that in Soviet Russia, as part of their Stalinist government, they established this sort of government decree that everybody had to have some kind of professional credentials. Everybody had to go get secondary education. So everybody over in Russia, from basically from the end of World War II up through the fall of the Soviet Union in the 1980s or 1991, was it? Anyway, up till then. I was just buffering. My stuff was buffering. It was just being weird. Anyway, so the the Soviets required everybody to have some kind of profession. So even the most, I'm just going to close that out. Even the most outlandish of claims would be, or so, sorry, even the person making, sorry, the buffer distracted. Even the person making the most outlandish of claims has some sort of credentials to back them up, has some sort of publications and things in their name. And that's the case with our friend Mr. Grabinski. So yes, he's an entomologist. So what does an entomologist have to do with gravity, right? Like that seems like something that would be in the physics realm, maybe, but no. This gentleman was an entomologist. So let me break down a little bit about who Mr. Grebennikov is. He was born in 1927, so yeah, ripe for this to be selected for having to, with the requirement to go get some kind of credentials immediately. So I mean, he was from Crimea, which was I'm talking world Russia, Crimea. Not good. This is where the Soviet Civil War, I guess, or let's call it the Soviet Civil War, where the Soviet Empire was fought for, right? Where the Russian Empire was overthrown by what would become the Soviet government. And Grebennikov was born right there, and right around that time the dust was settling on that, because that wasn't too far back that we had all this roller coaster ride of Eastern Europe and in Northern Asia, just in this tumultuous period from, let's see, from the reign of Ivan the Terrible up until, and you could still say that they're in that state, but just a lot of civil unrest and upheaval and stuff like that. And that's the society this guy was growing up in, and forming his like kind of identity, and this idea of, we'll get into it in a second. So, because you got to think about KGB and stuff like that when we get into how this gentleman feels he was treated and what he wrote in his books and stuff. Anyway, so, he was a pretty smart guy, though. I mean, he was an entomologist, which is, the field which is study of insects. And entomology can go into a few different directions of insects. You can study insect culture and society. You can study their biology. You can study their evolution. So there's a lot of different directions to take it in. But our friend here took it outdoors, took it out on the road, which is great. That's what I would do too if I had ever pursued my my degree in entomology. I would have wanted to travel, but I had at the time that I started school and stuff, I had already had a family. That wasn't in the cards. But this gentleman, did like to travel, and of course, when you're studying entomology, you do it in the wild. So he was one day he was just laying in a field under the stars, and just laying there in the evening on the ground. He made a little camp. And all of a sudden he started feeling like really uncomfortable, like a really uncomfortable sensation, and started tasting what he's described as like a copper-like taste in his mouth. And he got up and searched around and tried to figure out what was causing it, and found out that he had set up his camp over top of a bee's nest, a ground bee specifically. Let's see. So something like this with entrance and tunnel, and then this is here. And he set up his camp right here, right? And this is blown up really. They can't be huge. They can be like whole metropolis cities under the ground. Ground bees are more prevalent than like honeybees that live in the trees and stuff. There's definitely more ground bee species. Most native bees to North America are ground bees too. But he'd set up on top of one of these, and for whatever reason, he thought that that there was some sort of interference in, I don't know, in reality, I guess is the best way to describe it. This interference in the way time and space function, right? That was his theory based on tasting copper. And so he hypothesized that that there was something about the bees that was making him feel that way. And he'd go out there year after year and do the same stuff, do different kind of experiments and things, and just try to journal it and whatnot. Then there was one of these nests that had died, right? And he found it and he took it home and because it was half dug up from collapsing, I believe was the story. But he dug it up and he brought it home, and he noticed that if he held his hand above it, that he felt heat, right? Like a warmth or something, right? Some sensation rising from it. Now, when he touched the combs themselves, nothing. They just felt cold, dead beehive. The hive had collapsed. There was no life left in it. But above it, he detected this by tactile detection, detected this force right above there. Now, he described it as heat himself. During the course of experimentation on this topic, he pulled a few people in to, I'm getting ahead of myself. He pulled a few people in to do it too, and got all kinds of different responses. Some people claimed that it made their fingers numb. Some people claimed that they felt cold. Some people also felt the heat, tingling, sort of your general, let's be frank about it, let's be honest, placebo effect. To say that, hold your hand over this and tell me what you feel. So someone's already priming their brain to say, what do I feel? The proper way to do this would have been to do a blind study, right? And I don't know that he didn't, but that's not the way they make it sound in the narrative and in his book. I have only read excerpts from his book, though, so maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah, so he had people holding their hands over these dead beehives and telling them what they felt. A proper way to do that would have been to do a blind study, have people do it over nothing, and then have people do it over something. Have multiple, don't let them see what it is, or let them make the nothing look very much like the something, so you have a good control group. Yeah, but it doesn't sound like that during this period, because there's no papers on this study. So I don't think that he had any kind of funding to do this as a laboratory project. This is his private musings in his own home laboratory. This is not something that he's getting funding for or publishing on. So whatever we get from this can only ever be anecdotal. That's not to say that he's not published, though, because again, he's a professional. He's an entomologist. He is published. He's actually published and referenced. Richard Matson, it's good to see you. Psychedelic honey made by bees in the Himalayas. Wow. I want to know about that. Yeah, that sounds right up my alley, babe. Let's I'll definitely look into that. We've talked about some different things about honey. There was honey made using marijuana too, but I'll talk about that sometime. No worries, we'll get to it. Bees are one of my favorite topics to go over. But all right, back to Victor. So this part of it, it comes up in his book, sure, and again, we're never going to be able to confirm or deny it, unfortunately, because there's no experiments done, or because there was no documentation of the experiments done. Now, other than him writing in his own personal logs. Now, I just don't understand why it wasn't published if this was a thing that was actually happening, if he was dealing with this. It says when I read his biography that was just ignored, that he came up with this idea, but Anyway, moving on. So later in life, after this, Grebennikov was working in his lab late one night when his eyes beheld a... No, I'm not going to do the monster mash. Okay, so he was working with beetle wings under a microscope, looking at them. He started to notice these super... That's what I was supposed to do. These super cool structures, right? These bizarre spiraling, because this spirals in. It's hard to see it on this one, but that's the one he has in his book. But there's a few different images of them. They're really like intricate starburst patterns. They kind of look like succulents, spiraling in and things like that. Really cool stuff, right? Really fascinating observations that he made. Yeah, but yeah, sorry. I guess I should have warned Sam that we have a member of our community with the same name. So that as to let them know, prepare for the... No, it's not the butthole, Bjorn. This is all over the wings. This is not an anus. This is... So the wing covers, the elytra is what it's called. Elytra are on a beetle's wings, they are the hard case that flips open, and then the wings are underneath and they fly. But he noticed these structures and this formation in the chitin itself. And chitin is the substance which arthropods form their exoskeleton. We, as tetrapods, have an answer to that called keratin. It's like what your fingernails are made out of, or like a rhino's horn's made out of it. That's our answer to it. It's a very similar substance, but chitin is quite a bit more intricate in its structure and formation. So, Grebennikov made his observations of this, and then he was putting them under the microscope, and he had one. So he's an entomologist, so he has these sweet little tongs, right? Actually, yeah. And then he's putting it under the... I want to make myself bigger, but it's going to make it go back to the intro. Hold on, I can close it out. There we go. So he's putting his beetle wings into the microscope, and he notices that when one of the wings is placed over the other one, that the wing levitated for a second before falling off to the side, which is an interesting phenomena, and I think I will try to explore that myself when we get some beetles and stuff back in the biomes here, to see if this is something I can replicate, but that it almost like a counter-magnetic force, like a pushing it away. So he started to explore this concept, what they call CSC, or where did that go? I had a whole document pulled up on that. Just a second here. Cavity structural effect, right? That allegedly there is a force caused by this formation of the chitin that causes it to gravitationally repel, and it was his claim is that this is what is used by beetles to fly, because his claim is that their morphology, they wouldn't be able to fly with their small wings and their hefty bodies. So this is something that aids them in their flights. And beetles are funny flyers. They're kind of like a toddler flying a drone sometimes. It's cute, but but then you got to remember that their hard body is designed for that. Beetles are designed to run in, or designed. Sam, don't clip that. Make it say I'm talking about design. Beetles have evolved to be able to take an impact. That's their claim to fame, really, especially the larger beetles. So running into stuff. Even the more acrobatic of insects, of beetles that fly, aren't anything compared to some of the more expert flyers and the dipterans and the hymenopterans and things like that. Once the beetles get up in the air and get going in open spaces, they do a little bit better. But yeah, when there's things to run into, the beetles will run into it, and it's funny, and I think it's adorable. Anyway, back to where this is going. So this CSE phenomena that he's claiming, he decided to put it to work for him. He decided to build a contraption, a hoverboard, if you will. An anti-gravity platform is what he called it. All right, he patented this, and essentially what this is insect wings laid out in a formation. And so that was his main area of experimenting, was the formation, because it could, not only did he discover further by researching with this repelling force, this CSE in his home laboratory, he did different arrangements to cause different effects. He learned how to make things disappear visually so you couldn't see them using this effect. He learned how to levitate items, and that's where things really get weird, because yeah, he invents his hoverboard, right? And he comes up with all this technology to innovate the way we do things in the world. Could you imagine having powerless flight, right? And we're going to look deeper into the innovation of this hovering technology. But yeah, here's some more images of the different structures that he's referring to when he talks about this device, right? And here's even a guide to how it worked and everything, all the pieces and parts to it. And there is the replica of the levitation CSE, the gravitational repelling structures underneath the hoverboard itself. And yeah, and then as it became a thing, everybody rejected it. Oh, you're full of it. You have no proof that this thing actually works and does what you claim it does. Grabinikov was like, tried to take pictures, tried to take videos. Unfortunately, this technology messes with the camera. This technology causes the camera to malfunction. So there we go. That's a red flag to me anyway. But let's see how other people are taking this, because amazingly, Grabinikov has quite a following of anti-physics, anti-science, or science denial people, I guess. I don't know. They're mostly engineers. I actually reached out to Godless Engineer about this to see if he would be interested in talking about it sometime as well. But the main takeaway is, what's that? Yes, there's something on my crotch. Sorry. The main takeaway is that there's still people out there claiming this technology is in use. So let us spend the next section of CrypticCorner watching some of this stuff. Okay, here is allegedly innovations on the product. This is a couple minutes here, but I'm always sus when the video is recorded from somebody recording a TV with poor video quality on recording that onto YouTube. It's like 4 times in detriment to the footage. It's like, what are you trying to do with that? Are you trying to make this look older than it is? Are you trying to cover up some CGI stuff? What are we working with here? This has to be hanging from something if it's real. If it's CGI, I guess it doesn't, but I don't think it's CGI. I really do think it's somebody, because that looked like a swing. This thing is either suspended from a helicopter, or it could be being swung by a crane. My first thoughts would be helicopter, but they could reposition a crane and get all kinds of great shots like this as well by suspending this sucker. But, you know, this is claimed to be real. The fact that it always comes back to a just a couple of seconds of it moving forward is what makes me think that it's a crane and not a helicopter. If it was a helicopter and they spent the money to do that, I'd imagine that we would have stable footage of full less than little 5 or 10 or 5 or 6 second sections of him riding it or whatever. I mean, this this kind of view doesn't even require anything. But yeah, you notice how quickly these clips, I mean, they're less than 10 seconds each one. Those pictures there, they definitely looked like they would be that they might be photoshopped. Let's see, make sure this was the right one. Okay, so here we go. This is someone doing one of these experiments too. They got the honeycomb thing and the wires and all that. Yeah, to me this looks like a piezoelectric force. Yeah, I almost want to send a link to Dr. Tapioca Weasel to get in here, because the physics behind this claim is bizarre. This might be something you start your channel talking about. Let's talk. You talking about these crazy physics-defying technologies that these Russian YouTubers claim using like this. I do believe that what we're seeing here is a piezoelectric force, or just a standard electromagnetic force, like just a general electromagnetic force acting on these. I don't know what's under the honeycomb, so. But the way that it's making it, that it's charging that and then making it stick to other surfaces too, like a plastic would, really makes me think it's holding an electromagnetic charge. Would it be awesome? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like static to me, like static electric charge. It doesn't look like it's magical or mystical or anything. Just like it's like when you have like a cellophane wrapper and it sticks to something. It's not magic. Yeah, I want Dr. Tapioca Weasel to start making content debunking fake physics. Could be magnets. Yeah, we don't know how magnets work though. I don't have the ICP icon to put up. Sorry. All right, so that's this one. He doesn't do much more than this. He just kind of pokes around at it. I don't think he ever gets to levitate. Just sticks to the side. It never levitates. Let's see if some of these other ones get any kind of levitation out of them. All right, we already looked at that one. Did that one. Oh gosh, we're gonna get into this guy too. Hold on. But I want to I want to look at this one first. And to me, this stuff, just right here, looks like basic sleight of hand. Because what he has is he's got the beetle wings underneath, wedged into the other pack, empty cigarette pack. Yeah, when I use my controlled experiments, I always use packs of camels. Those are a standard unit of scientific discovery. You have to use a pack of camels. But there is an insect wing there. Let's blow this up. Sorry, there's an insect wing there under that bottom pack of camels, like wedged under it, assumingly to make sure that this thing stays in its place. And there's the beetle wings right there, showing that there's nothing in the back, nothing in the pack. Yet we have also have a table, a plate, and a couple of layers of napkins under here. Just saying. Yeah, you can't tag people on mobile. That's lame. Now there's like a balance, right, that we need. And here's him using the design. Can somebody 3D print me a CSE levitating platform or pad so that I can... what I want to do is make hover boots. And then I'll get some like glider wings or something, and I'll be good to go. I don't want a platform. I don't want a little cart. I just want boots in my wings. Maybe wings on my back. I'll be like, and I can be Bumblebee then. I can have little flappy wings on my back to propel me, and maybe like little hand things to go forward and backward. Or maybe I could just lean like I'm on hover, like I'm on like one of the regular hoverboards, and I could just lean back and forth to change my trajectory and have my hover boots on. I'm down. I'm here for it. But if I have to get a goblin glider, I'm fine with it. I would accept a goblin glider if someone could innovate that using this technology for me. Why would the Sovs why would they not innovate and move forward on this technology, especially at the time period that it was being presented? Why would they not use this technology to save their country if this was presented by one of their native scientists? That's where I find it suspicious. Let's watch another one of these, and then I'm gonna go back and watch that guy that was dancing around with his too. So no worries there. That will be a thing that we do, but I want to cover this first. Let's see what this one does. Always Russian. Are you getting anything? This guy really knows how to organize his glow sticks. Mine I just like keep in the box until I'm ready to use them. I don't even have a holder for mine. What? What's going on here? Would that be driven by static charge as well? Yeah, this guy does lots of experiments on here. That's test one. I guess I can mute him. There's no sense in... Oh, not that one. Yeah, okay. Someone told him not to use plastic, to use glass, so he started using this. Yeah, there's a coil here. So we got a coil. Is there... So the wire, this wire going up to... Mike, hold on. I gotta tell you guys, my cockroaches are at war up here. They're at war, my hissers. They're so annoyed with each other. So what happened was, when I moved into this apartment, I had 2 large hissers, one female and one male. Those were the only ones I had. The rest of mine, they had got some kind of disease a while back. So when I was at the pet shop the other day, just getting some feeder stuff, I got some smaller, because my cockroaches, my feeder roaches hadn't been breeding. So I got some tiny feeder crickets for my smaller tarantulas, because most of my tarantulas are pretty small right now. And while I was there, I noticed they had a little thing of 3 hissing cockroaches, younger ones, not babies, but younger ones. Because the ones I have, mine were big. They're full grown. They're adults. They were both. Like one of them was about 3 inches long. The male was, and then the female was maybe 2 inches long. But they're full grown, and I got these younger 3 and put them in there to add to the culture, to add some diversity and everything to their little culture. But they apparently don't like each other, because for the last week since they've been in there, it's been nonstop behind me. It's driving me up the wall. No, not really. But it's kind of funny, because it's like all they can really do is annoy each other and go away. So yes, the girl at the pet shop who got me, I didn't even show you guys, I got this. I can't go in there and not buy something. That's what we would call a Brazilian red tarantula, I guess. I don't usually use common names, but I'm not going to try to pronounce the scientific name for it now when I haven't practiced it. And, hey, John Hudson, good to see you. And Dr. Mordecai's in the house. Dr. Osiris, too. It's the doctors are coming together. We got 3 doctors. I know not all of you are really doctors, but it's funny that I attract people with doctors with doctor in their name. That makes me feel special. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on. There's a war behind me, and yes, the girl at the pet shop who helped me with this raises tarantulas too, and we sit there and talked for a good while about different species and stuff like that. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand, because I'm derailing things and I don't want to have to edit that out. So if we keep my tangent under 2 minutes, I can keep it in. Hey, look, there we are. Static, yeah. I heard him say static. Of course, they're all doctors. I agree. The real doctorate isn't here. Yeah. Guess I shouldn't wear white when I'm not wearing a bra. I didn't feel like putting a bra on this morning. I barely made it out of bed. I don't know if my eyes reacting to long-term use of lashes, but my eyes when I woke up this morning were stupid goopy, and I had to spend most of my morning trying to clear my eyes out. It was a delay, so yeah, delay in getting going. So yes, when we look into this, it gets really weird, and I want to preface this with I don't know if this technology that this gentleman is claiming he's using here is real or not. But it's super bizarre, and actually I find the video content here pretty convincing, but I don't know. You guys tell me. In fact, I would go as far as to claim that that what we're seeing here is probably one of the most convincing videos of alleged unnatural phenomena that I've covered on the show so far. This is more convincing than Patterson Gimlin. This is, I think he talks. He's got a longer video about this tech too, but yeah, so charges it up, powers it up, and it starts levitating. It's got a wire coming down from it, and then he goes out and this guy is specifically an engineer, from what I understand. He's an automotive engineer, actually, like a car engineer. From what I understand, all of his videos are in Russian, so I have to kind of decipher it from looking at his content and stuff like that. But this one, out of all the stuff that I've covered, yeah, I find that this is probably the most convincing supernatural video, and I'm not saying that it's real or that what he's demonstrating, that this levitation anti-gravity technology is real that he's trying to demonstrate here. I can't say for sure what is happening. Yeah, just a bra is a vector which is the counterpoint of the cat of quantum mechanics. Oh my gosh, Dr. Tapioca Weasel, don't make me do that early in the morning. That's what Maya's saying too. I want to see him lay down on top of it and levitate. That would be convincing. All he does is that, though. He doesn't pick your feet up and get off the ground. Let me see it hold you up. That's what I want to see. He doesn't do it. Nope. He does not do it. But he does in another one of his videos. He makes it go up higher like that. And he talks about it a bit. This is like a 40-minute video. I'd consider just covering this and reading his subtitles here, because this is where I've learned most of what I know about the gentleman too, is from these subtitles, because it does translate them. His levitation, anti-gravity technology. The thing about this, though, is that if what we're looking at here is authentic anti-gravity technology, this person needs to be working for an engineering firm or something. Yeah, I think the claim is that there's no fans, props, no rudders. Yeah, there's no propulsion power. That this is anti-gravity technology. No, I'm not saying I'm convinced by it at all. No, if I had to speculate, I would say that that there's some kind of prop inside here that's allowing this to rise up, and the way it bounces around would certainly to me allude to that, especially because I don't think that that we'd have that sort of stability issue with anti-gravity technology if we were to defy the force of gravity. I don't know that it would be graded to the point where it's starting to, but maybe it would. I don't know. But I find it interesting. That when you look at this guy's page and most of what he's talking about, there's a lot of excuse me, a lot of woo stuff attached in here too, but there's also just regular mechanic stuff. So I don't know. But am I convinced that this guy invented an anti-gravity drone? Or basically that's what it would be, an anti-gravity drone. Yeah, that's the main thing I'm after, is I want to know where this thing is. I want to know where the hoverboard is. I want to know. I want it, and I want it now. I was promised that by 2015, Robert Zemeckis promised that we would have hoverboard technology, and that I would have a hoverboard that I could take to work every day. I have not received that. I'm not trying to like point fingers or anything, but I would like for this technology to be real. I do. I really do want for Grabinikov's, so I said his name wrong again, Grabinikov's technology to be real. Unfortunately, I'm not convinced. That's just my stance on it, and I'm certainly welcome to counter examples. I welcome any kind of proof in modern day, and not just some obscure Russian video of some guy tinkering around in his garage. I'd love to see this stuff in action, right? I'd love to have that sort of exposure, but I don't think that we're going to get that. And we're just going to have to learn to deal with that, I suppose. That's just something that we're going to learn to live with. Okay, so that was CrypticCorner. If you're watching this on Friday night, thank you so much for joining me and hanging out in CrypticCorner today. We did talk about the bizarre anti-gravity technology by Viktor Grabinikov, Russian entomologist, and the cavity structure effect. Is it real? I don't think so. But if you do, tell me in the comments down below. Give me a source. Give me a citation. Let me know what you think. And again, please remember to be kind, take care, and I will see you next time.